What if the phantom sounds in your house aren't just your imagination? When my dog Lulu passed, her barks followed me into the night. And at first, I thought I was going crazy. But then my sister's dog Greta died, and suddenly there were two. I realized that Lulu wasn't just visiting. She was working. She was the welcoming committee at the Rainbow Bridge. I'm your host, Amber Rasmussen, and this is Signs in a Snap, a special series from Next Realm Beautiful Stories from Beyond. Before we get into the mystery of the barks, I want to talk about leadership. We often hear the term alpha or dominance when it comes to dogs, but in a spiritual realm and even in the behavioral world, true leadership is different. Dogs choose a pack leader because that dog provides security, resources, and act as a calm, reliable protector. They look for the one who offers affection but also sets clear boundaries. In our house, that wasn't a person. It was a little scruffy-haired terrier mix named Lulu, or Lubelle as I called her. She was my first grown-up dog, and she had this sweet little curly tail and these huge ears that were far too big for her tiny little body. She was sassy, yes, but she was the undisputed matriarch. So whether it was a 100-pound German Shepherd or a 5-pound Chihuahua walking through our door, they knew Lulu was the head honcho. She had a presence, and she didn't need to growl to be felt. Lulu was with me for nearly 17 years. Think about that for a second. That is almost 2 decades of life. She was there for the heartbreaks and the job changes, the moves, the best days, and the absolute worst. So when a soul like that leaves, it doesn't just leave a hole in your heart. It leaves this hole in the entire atmosphere of your home. When she passed, it just hit me like a ton of bricks. At the time, I was just barely dipping my toes into the woo, the spiritual side of life, I guess, and I was looking for signs, but I didn't see any. I thought that just maybe she had moved on completely. I found this little tribute to her on Facebook, and I just thought I'd read it here because it just kind of sums up everything that I felt about that little one. So it reads, "Today, I lost my sweet girl and first fur baby, Lulu. I remember the day that I got her like it was yesterday. I was set on getting an English bulldog, but they were a couple $1,000s and I was a broke 20-something-year-old. And one day, I saw this cute little white pup on Craigslist for $250 and I scheduled a time to see her. The lady met me at the grocery store and walked over to me with an old ratty towel. In it was Lulu. She looked up at me and my heart was forever hers. She was never second best. I would have spent $1 million for her. She was perfect in every way. Just 15 pounds, she was full of spunk and sass. I remember signing her up for doggy obedience and watching her school all the big dogs during her first lesson. She had no fear and she took no shit from anybody. My dad would never let us have girl animals growing up because they had no personality. But Miss Lubelle, she proved him wrong and had Grandpa wrapped around her paw from the get-go. She loved sitting in my lap while driving and demanded that I give her neck massages every night before bed. Her favorite toy was a stuffed bear my mom got her from IKEA, and we had to stock up on them every time we went. She also loved being a guard dog and the praise that she would get from Grandpa when she'd woof the mailman or UPS man away when they came to the door. My little Lulu, all those years ago, you saved me. You didn't know it, but you did. I love you more than words, and I know you're with Gus now in heaven. Bradley, please take care of my babies. Until we meet again, love, Mama." Oh, that got me teared up, but she was a special, special girl, and I will forever miss her. But I want to get into the part where I moved into my new house. This was a few years after her passing, and I hadn't heard any signs. And I was trying to have this new sleeping arrangement with my dog Boogie because we were a little codependent and he snores like a truck driver. my boyfriend's like, I cannot sleep with this dog. Can we do something? So I thought, okay, no big deal. I'll put him down the hall in his own bedroom. And of course, it did not go well. And he would cry and whimper and bark. But then there was this weird shift because a few weeks, even a month or two goes by, and I'm exhausted. And I would hear this high-pitched, shrill bark right in my ear. And I would be startled awake, and I would fly out of bed, run across the hall, thinking something had gone horribly wrong with Boogie. And when I get there, he was completely asleep, just sound asleep. And I remember thinking to myself, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm going crazy. Did I not just hear a high-pitched dog bark in my ear? What is going on? And this continued on for months. And I was so tired. And we would start calling it the ghost dog. But I wasn't putting anything together. I thought it was Boogie. We'd be like, yeah, I heard ghost dog again last night. What is going on with this ghost dog or phantom dog barking? And I thought maybe I'm just stressed out because I'm just worried about Boogie and maybe I'm thinking he's not okay and whatever. So time goes on and my sister's dog, Greta, passes away unexpectedly. It was shocking. She was this beautiful German Shepherd, sweetest girl. And it was right before the holidays. You know, my family's upset. We're grieving over the loss of her. And I go to my boyfriend's family's home in Illinois. And this time I woke up to this low dog bark in the middle of the night. I was drifting off to sleep and I heard this oof, this big, deep bark. And I just knew that bark. And I was so startled. And that morning I told my boyfriend, I said, you're not going to believe this, but I heard a different bark this time. And it was Greta. I know it was Greta. It shook me up a little bit. And we get home and I'm just like, oh my gosh, okay. We go to sleep. And that morning, my boyfriend, he got up before me. He was downstairs making coffee and I get downstairs and he's like, so I have something to tell you. And I'm like, what? And he says, I think I heard ghost dog. I'm like, ghost dog? You heard the high-pitched dog? And he's like, no, I heard Greta. And I'm like, well, how do you know it's Greta? He's like, well, she was whimpering on the side of the bed. And I know that sound because we had both babysat Greta and my sister's other dog while they were on vacation. And she would sneak up to the side of the bed, and she's a big dog, so she'd be face to face with you, and she would kind of just have this like little whimper, like, is it time to get up? I'm ready for breakfast. Hello. And so we both knew what that sound was. And he's like, I heard it plain as day. I was kind of in the middle between, you know, being awake and sleeping. And so we just thought, oh my goodness. Told my sister about it. And then shortly after he had the experience, then I heard the whimper on my side of the bed. So we're just like, oh my gosh. And during this whole time, I was still thinking about that ghost dog that I kept hearing, you know, with Boogie prior to Greta passing away. And I kept saying, I think it's Boogie, but I'm not sure. Like, it's a familiar sound and it's a high-pitched sound. And never in a million years was I tying it to Lulu. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, I'm almost 100% positive that what I was hearing was Lulu. It was really interesting because after Greta passed, the bark stopped. The house went quiet again. And it was almost as if the mission was complete and that Lulu had successfully guided Greta home. But I still missed her. I missed that scruffy fur. And just this year, I got the best gift ever. Lulu came to me in a visitation dream, and it shocked me so much because I just thought, gosh, you know, she passed away in 2021. I didn't see or hear any signs from her. And then all of a sudden, my sister's dog, leading up to my sister's dog's death, I was hearing Lulu out of nowhere. And it was like she was right there. And I don't know. I was actually feeling good. Like, oh, my Lou Bell. Like she she was there for Greta. She's the pack leader, and she was doing her thing. And I just knew that they were together, and I was actually good. But then, this visitation dream, I just didn't know it was coming. And I woke up bawling my eyes out. I'll try to get through this without crying. But it was just, if you've had a visitation dream, you know, it is beyond real. So yeah, I was sleeping, and I don't know, it was just this crazy dream. And all of a sudden I was looking at this woman. I was like leaning up against this wall in this dream. I don't remember a whole lot around me, but I was looking at this woman and her child, and they were looking at me. And as I was looking at them, I felt this little presence on my lap. And I had mentioned Lulu's favorite thing was her neck massages at night. And that's what I was doing in the dream. And I could feel her fur. It was just, and I was looking at these couple, and I'm massaging this little thing on my lap, and I'm not realizing it's Lulu. But I could feel this fur in my fingers. And as I turned my head, she was like right there. And it was like, hi, Mama, it's me. Oh my gosh, I was so shocked. I'm like, Lubel, what are you doing? What are you doing here, baby? And it was just like she was there. It was so profound, and it's going to make me cry. But, I just remember waking up crying like, oh my gosh, that was so not expected and so beautiful. And I called my mom right away and had to tell her that my Lubel came to visit me. But honestly, it was so perfect. And I haven't seen or heard from her since. But, it's 2025. So, gosh, 4 years after she passed, I just had this beautiful moment. And then this reassurance that she's there kind of guiding all of our animals. We've had other animals passed as well. So it just kind of gave me that confirmation that she's there. She's helping them over the Rainbow Bridge, doing what she does best. And so anyways, I thought you guys would enjoy that one. I know that I'm not the only one that has these little experiences, these little snaps from the afterlife. So whether you're hearing a phantom bark too, or there's another sign from your loved one that's just mind-blowing, I want to hear from you. So please just send your stories in, and hopefully we'll get you on the podcast. But you can send me an email at NextRealmPodcast@gmail.com. That's NextRealmPodcast@gmail.com. I read every single message, so it would be an honor to share your story with the community. Take care, and we will see you on the next episode.